Welcome to Shards, a spiritual journey in pieces. Today's episode we're calling Crossing the Waters. Water is a threshold, a beginning and an end, a baptism and a burial. It carries us forward, but it also teaches us to let go. Across traditions, water is sacred, not because it is one thing, but because it is everything. In Christianity, water cleanses and renews. In Buddhism, it teaches impermanence. In Islam, it purifies. In Hinduism, the Ganges carries the prayers of generations. And in science, water is life itself. Without it, nothing survives. And for those who have left their faith or are searching for something beyond the beliefs they once held, water is still a teacher. It shows us that we are always in motion, always crossing from one state of being to another. Sometimes we step in willingly. Sometimes we leap in. Other times, we are pulled under, tossed by currents we never expected. Today, I want to talk about the waters I've crossed, the ones that carried me away from the faith I was raised in, the ones that led me toward something new, something unknown. I want to share what it felt like to leave the shore behind, not knowing where I'd land, only knowing I couldn't stay where I was. Because maybe you've been there too. Maybe you're there right now. So, let's wade in. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, allow your body to settle. Feel the weight of yourself against the surface beneath you. Feel the air moving in and out, the quiet rhythm of being alive. Now, bring your awareness to the water within you. As we learned in biology class, your body is mostly water. It moves through your veins, fills your cells, carries oxygen, and washes what no longer serves you. You are not separate from water. You are water. And the water within you is ancient. Every tear you've cried, every breath you've exhaled into mist, every pulse of blood through your body, it's all part of an ancient cycle. It is the same water that turned to wine at the wedding of Cana. It is the same water that carried Moses through the reeds. The same water that filled the ritual baths of the temples, that washed the feet of prophets, that was poured out in offerings to gods. It is also the same water that flooded the earth in the stories of old, that surged through New Orleans in the wake of Katrina, that swallowed villages in tsunamis, that we prayed would rain down as our homes and cities burned. The same water that soldiers waded through in war, the same water that held the bodies of those who had nowhere else to go, the same water that runaway slaves dwelled in, breathing underwater through hollowed river reeds, while white men with their dogs hunted them. During the Holocaust, many rivers across Eastern Europe became silent witnesses to our human atrocity. Ashes from crematoria were dumped into rivers, which still flow even after witnessing such pain. Water is both life and loss, renewal and destruction. It does not choose sides. It only moves. Let yourself feel that. The tide inside your chest, the gentle waves of your breathing, the deep, still reservoir at your core. There is wisdom in water. It does not resist change. It moves with us. It moves with change. It takes the shape of whatever holds it. It softens the hardest places. And when it's time, it overflows. As you move through this episode, let yourself remain in your body. Let yourself listen, not just with your ears and your mind, but with the water within you. Because just like the rivers, just like the ocean, you are always in motion. Take one more deep breath, and as you're ready, let's begin. Water carries memory. It holds stories of the past, even as it moves forward. And just like water, we are shaped by where we have been, by places we have left, by places we will leave, and by the tides that pulled us towards something new. For me, the waters I've crossed were not just metaphorical, they were real. I left behind the faith of my childhood, the familiar shores of the Southern Baptist Church, the dogma that became my mindset and my belief and my truth, and the only God I had ever known. I grew up in Georgia, where church wasn't just a place, it was the center of everything. Faith was in the air, breathed. The language we spoke, the rhythm of our lives, Sunday morning worship and Sunday school and evening training union and worship, Wednesday night Bible study, revivals that seemed to happen once a season. And for a long time, I did everything I could to make that faith fit, to make myself fit within that faith. But there comes a moment when the water rises and you realize you can't stay where you are. You have to step in. And so eventually I left Georgia, and I wasn't just leaving a place, I was leaving a version of myself, a version of God, a version of belonging that no longer held me. And for a while I had no desire to return to any kind of church. I was in the in-between, the spaces where so many of us find ourselves after we let go of something but haven't yet found what comes next. Fast forward many years, and as we continue this podcast, I'm going to fill in these gaps. That's one of the benefits of having the title of our podcast called Shards. Each piece eventually, hopefully, God willing, as my grandma would say, will come together. Fast forward to Los Angeles. I was in a new city, a new life, and yet I found myself profoundly alone, especially when my boyfriend moved back to Ohio where we had met. You see, I was young and cute and playing on the streets of West Hollywood in Los Angeles. And I remember the Sunday morning well. There's a popular canyon where people go and walk, and Sunday mornings are really, really busy. And I would go and walk the canyon on Sunday mornings. And one day when I reached the top, you can stand and look out over the entire city, and in the distance on a clear day, you can actually see the Pacific Ocean, which is miles and miles away. But I also saw a steeple of a church, and on that steeple was a bright red AIDS ribbon. And somehow the waters carried me to Hollywood United Methodist Church, a place that was nothing like the churches I had known, yet in its own way it felt like home. For so long I thought I had to keep moving, keep searching, keep figuring it all out. But sometimes we don't need another destination. We just need a place to rest. And Hollywood United Methodist Church, HUMC, became that for me. Not a place that demanded answers, but a place that made room for my questions. A place that held space for the parts of me that had once been unwelcomed in faith. It wasn't about returning to the faith of my past. It was about finding a new way of being, one where God wasn't a rigid idea that I had to fit into, but a mystery that I could keep discovering. Water has carried you too, through changes, through losses, through places you've never expected to go. Maybe you've been in a season of transition, or maybe you're standing at the edge, unsure whether to step in. Wherever you are, take a moment to reflect. What are the waters you've crossed in your life? When have you been carried somewhere unexpected, whether by faith, by circumstances, or by those forces that are so much greater than yourself? Is there a place in your life where you are being invited to step into the unknown? If you can, take a moment today to connect with water in a tangible way. It can be simple as running your hands under the water and being mindful. Watch a river or an ocean if you live near one. Drink a glass of water slowly, noticing how it moves through you. As you do, ask yourself, what is this water teaching me? What is it inviting me into? Because just like water, we are always in motion, always becoming. Before we close today, I want to share something I'm doing tomorrow. I've never done this before, but I'm going to be stepping into a new experience. It's something that feels like a perfect reflection of the journey we've been on today. I'm attending a holy festival, a celebration rooted in Hindu traditions that marks the arrival of spring. It's known as the Festival of Colors, where people come together to throw vibrant powder into the air, covering one another in brilliant hues. It's a time of joy, renewal, and recognition that life is always shifting, just like water, just like us. But after the celebration, after the laughter and the music, after we've danced beneath the sky of swirling color, there's one more ritual. We must return to water. We wash the colors from our skin, watching them swirl down the drain, back into the earth. And in that moment, we are reminded, joy and transition go hand in hand. Every celebration, every transformation is followed by cleansing, by release, by stepping into what comes next. So, wherever you are, whatever waters you're crossing, I hope you find your own moments of renewal. And when the time comes to step into the water, to let go, to begin again, may you do so with trust, knowing that just like the tide, we are always moving forward. We are always transforming.